Hello, welcome to the marketplace. Coming up this afternoon, Ghana ranked as 5th country in the world with highest food inflation. Newmont invests close to $4 million to revamp the ginger and pepper processing factory in the Ahafo region.
In the process of commercializing and creating a brand called Ahafo Spices of both ginger and pepper that can be sold in Ghana and beyond.
And improving insurance coverage, National Insurance Commission says it is open for collaboration with other industry players to push for inclusiveness within the sector.
As an industry, we stand to gain tremendously from embracing diversity, inclusivity, and equity.
My name is Daryl. Kwawu. Thanks for joining us. Details coming up. Well, first up, Ghana has been ranked as the 5th country in the world with the highest food inflation. That's according to the latest World Bank report on food security around the world. Here's George Jaffe with details.
The World Bank report tracks what the institution calls real food inflation rate, defined as food inflation minus overall inflation of the country from August to November this year. It tracked the growth in food inflation rate from November last year to November 2023. At a rate of 10%, growth in Ghana's food inflation rate was higher than that of Zimbabwe, Burundi, Malawi, and Belgium. But if this report tracked inflation rate from August to November this year, then there's a likelihood that it didn't capture the recent movement which showed that overall inflation has slowed to 26.4%. This is because the November inflation rate, as announced by the Ghana Statistical Service, will be the rate for the previous month. Meanwhile, the report showed that the World Bank, under its Food Systems Resilience Program, had approved some $315 million to support Ghana and 2 other countries to help improve food security.
The government has been entreated to change the policy direction within Ghana's agric sector to increase productivity. According to a former member of parliament for the Tamale Central constituency, Al-Hassan Wayose, this is important to address the challenges of food insecurity and save the country from global shocks. He spoke to Joy Business at the launch of his book titled I Speak My Mind, Memoirs of a Diligent Ghanaian Politician.
I can say it is an all-inclusive book. It touches on politics, it touches on life in Ghana as a whole. And it even touches about contemporary issues about the economy. For example, I've talked about the external shocks that disturb the economy of this country. And I just believe that it exposed our economy as structurally weak. So we have to get the structures of our economy correct. I say that there is a need for us to change policy direction as a result of all these external shocks, so that in future those shocks will not affect us. And the number one thing in economy is food, because the first thing the core development issue, the first item on the core development issue is sustenance. And sustenance includes food, shelter, and clothing. Food in particular is very important for a country. If a country cannot feed itself, it cannot develop.
Now, the University of Ghana Business School, as part of its efforts to contribute to the reduction in post-harvest losses, has enhanced the capacity of some farmers and businesses in some rural areas in Ghana to add value to their produce under its Bring project. According to the project manager at the UGBS Innovation Hub, Dr. George Echampong, the training is expected to help address the challenges faced by these businesses.
The University of Ghana Business School's Bring project, which is funded by UK Aid and supported by Reza Farms, seeks to foster technology transfer from university-based research to the rural sector. In all, 360 local producers were given the capacity building under the project. Speaking at the close-out ceremony of the initiative, project manager at UGBS Innovation Hub, Dr. George Echampong, said the training is focused on helping address the problems faced by producers to reduce their losses.
We focus on 6 food-based innovations in fruit, dairy, egg, oil palm, tomatoes, and fish. And we've been able to successfully train about 360 local producers in new innovations in their areas. So when you go to Cape Coast, for instance, we help them have a system that they can juice more and create gummies and dried fruits efficiently. And then in Bruno East, we help them create tomato puree. So that instead of their tomato going bad, they can create a puree that can last longer, have a better shelf life. So our approach is not to do a touch and go. Like you find a lot of people go and do training and they leave. We are creating what we call a community of practice. So we are working together with them. So what you realize is that we didn't just train. That's why they are able to do it with the machines themselves, because we did follow-ups. So we have students following up, supporting them where they have challenges. The students will help them resolve the challenges so that they can make progress.
A beneficiary, Nana Kwawu Asantua, said the support will help them to add value to their items and increase their profits.
The training that the University of Ghana has trained us have really helped us, because when we harvest our tomatoes, we just throw them if the market is not good. But now through their training, we have able to come out with tomato paste, tomato powder, and tomato puree. And we are training more people in our villages so that when they deseed their tomatoes, they will not throw out the seed away. They can process it and then get tomato powder out of it. And the stress that we were going through, struggling to get car and boxes to harvest our tomatoes, we are now okay. We thank the University of Ghana Business School that they should keep on helping us. When they come out with a project work, with the training that they have helped us, they should do more, because people are out there saying that there is no job. But through the training, we have come out with something that at least we will work on it and then get something for our living.
Most of the beneficiaries have been able to convert their produce into tomato paste, egg powder, and other products.
We're taking you next to the Ahafo region, where the Inclusivity Processing Services Center at Subrinso in the Inclusivity South District has been recommissioned after Newmont invested close to $4 million to revamp the ginger and pepper processing factory. The mining company expects intervention to create job opportunities and scale up agric activities with the involvement of about 1,000 cooperative farmers in the provision of raw materials. Pesho Semevo has more.
Inclusivity Processing Services Center, Subrinso, Ahafo region, operated as a farmers' cooperative but folded up mainly due to the lack of funding which affected production. The situation also affected the livelihood of farmers. Newmont Africa provided funds with the support of GIZ and investment advisors revived the center to produce processed ginger and pepper into spices under the brand name Ahafo Spices. The vision is to create sustainable and profitable businesses within the host mining communities during and after the mining activities. The state-of-the-art spice processing facility will be fed by over 1,000 farmers, as explained by Jerry Parks, Chief Executive of Injaro Investment Advisors, at the recommissioning of APSC.
We are the lead implementing partner for Newmont, and we got involved in the project in 2018. The path that we followed is that we did a new feasibility study to assess the viability of this processing services center to process ginger and pepper from local farmers, to commercialize the products, and then just create a value addition center that will continue to create jobs for farmers. So today we are at a point where we have 1,000 farmers signed up with different cooperatives. We started buying products from the farmers, and we're in the process of commercializing and creating a brand called Ahafo Spices of both ginger and pepper that can be sold in Ghana and beyond. Now, if farmers look at the processing plant as an enemy, someone to extract money from, someone to cheat and make money today to the detriment of tomorrow, then we will never achieve the objective.
The managing director of Newmont Africa Business Unit, David Taunton, said the intervention is expected to create jobs and improve agriculture in the area.
Newmont has invested close to $4 million in this game-changing intervention which benefits include improving food security, creating job opportunities, and scale up agricultural activities in a region known to be the breadbasket of the country. We hold firm our conviction that mining can be a catalyst for positive change and economic development, and that mining can coexist with and complement agriculture. APSC serves as a practical example of how mining can be leveraged to improve agriculture productivity.
Some of the farmers relished the impact of the revival of the center.
If you're able to prepare it well, you're able to harvest a lot of ginger in your farm, and it gives us a lot of money in our pocket. The women, they are enjoying, the farmers too, we have enjoying.
Precious Semevo Joy Business, Subrinso Half Region.
Now, the West African Science Service Center on Climate Change and Adapted Land Use is calling on governments in the sub-region to increase investment and resources in the fight against climate change. According to the Interim Executive Director, Professor Kehinde Ogunjobi, governments must support infrastructure development of data on climate science. He was speaking at the inception workshop of his Cycles project.
The Customized and Integrated Climate and Environmental Services Project by WASCAL seeks to strengthen risk-prone nations' adaptive capacity and resilience to global warming and climate change through the co-development of an end-to-end climate services. The services will focus on areas such as climate action policy and data services. Executive Director of WASCAL, Professor Kehinde Ogunjobi, called on governments to increase investments being made to the fight against climate change.
Our government needs to wake up, and I'm very serious on this, and I'm talking as the chief executive of one of the institutions tackling the issues of climate change in our region. That our government needs to support development of infrastructure for data densification in our region. Our national Met services, of course, they are trying their best. They are doing their best, and WASCAL has also been cooperating with the national meteorological or hydrological services in the region. But I want to see, as much as we are cooperating with them, there are still huge gaps, because one of the major challenge, and I think I want to use this medium to address our government, our states, is that one of the major challenge of these national services is maintenance, maintaining those infrastructure that they have. In fact, from the research that was conducted by WASCAL, 40%, unbelievable, 40% of infrastructure in terms of facility for observation network, the observation network in our region, West Africa, they are not in good condition.
Regional Thematic Coordinator of WASCAL, Dr. Senyi Salak, said measures put in place to fight climate change is woefully inadequate.
Primary institutions like GMET, investment for infrastructure for GMET to be able to well establish its work in saving lives, that funding is not available because the national entity deciding is not doing that. So, typical of what is happening to us. The second aspect of this is we are not responsible for climate change, yet we are the ones who are really suffering from it. Then we expect funding to come from the global systems. So you hear about Adaptation Fund, you hear about Loss and Damage Fund that is being established, but these funds are very, very difficult for us to grab. So why? Because our capacity in terms of expertise at the national level is also missing. So even if today we are conscious that some type of climate issues are really making a lot of trouble to our population down there, we don't have the means to, and if we are to go for the global funding, we don't have enough expertise at the national level.
WASCAL is focused on investigating the challenges hindering the fight against climate change to protect the environment.
You're watching The Marketplace. We're taking a short break. We have some more stories coming up. Welcome back to The Marketplace. Now, the National Insurance Commission says it is open for collaboration with other industry players on how to push for inclusiveness within the sector. Acting Commissioner of Insurance Michael Kofi emphasized the importance of collective efforts by stakeholders in the insurance industry to establish sustainable safety nets that empower vulnerable communities. He was speaking at the launch of the Women in Insurance Network of Ghana.
WING is all about celebrating, inspiring and empowering the women in Ghana's insurance industry. WING is here to shape mindsets, welcome fresh faces to the industry, and make sure every woman in any role has a fair shot. As an industry, we stand to gain tremendously from embracing diversity, inclusivity, and equity. Let us commit to diversity not just on paper, but in the real world. A diverse workforce brings together individuals with different backgrounds, experiences, perspectives, and problem-solving skills. This diversity of thought fosters creativity and leads to innovative solutions. Diverse teams are more likely to generate fresh ideas and develop unique approaches to challenges.
Now, some engineers are calling for the full enforcement of the road reservation manual. According to them, challenges associated with land tenure systems faced by real estate and individual developers could be averted through legislation. Speaking to the media at an engineering coordination forum, Engineer Kenneth Ashibe, chairman of the National Engineering Coordinating Team, called for collaboration to champion the enforcement of the law. Here's more.
The Road Reservation Manual has been in existence since 1996. The manual prescribes procedures for dealing with disruptions to utilities and traffic management in the development of towns and cities in the country. Speaking at an engineering coordination forum, Engineer Kenneth Ashibe called for collaborations with law enforcement agencies to implement the law to the latter. This, he believes, will save the country costs.
And so the document has now been made to take into consideration the various players that work within the road corridors. So who are the people who operate within the corridors, so that we ensure that when a road is done, you don't come after a few days, come to cut the road again and say you are going to put some utility in there. The document we have is based on some laws that already exist, about 4 different laws, the land law, the LUSPA law, there are few laws. And so if we, crime has no time bar. So once we get to the point, and one of the things we are seeking to do is working with the Bar Association and getting some lawyers who are also interested in being able to take people who have broken the law, who are costing the country a lot of money. The time is coming, and very soon.
Percy Anab Bukari is the president of the Ghana Institute of Planning.
The owners of the lands are different, so you need to let them know this legislation, that you guide what we put on the land. So once you guide them and they are part of you, they get to know what they put the land to and then the use to which the lands should be put to. And based on that, they now also know how to sell those lands. What happens is if you prepare the land use plans or the local plans, and somebody buys a parcel of land and he wants to use it for residential, but that place has been designated as a green belt, it will be very difficult for the assembly in question, if all things are working well, to grant you the permit to go in to do that particular development. So it will be very good that most of the times when we are developing some of these local plans, the owners of the land, which is the chiefs, the elders, should be part of the process of developing this map.
Now, Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Ghana Industry, Kwawu, is entreating young graduates seeking employment to be familiar with the complexities of the Ghanaian economy. Despite the struggling economy and the high unemployment rate, he maintains the youth can reclaim opportunities through adequate training and knowledge. He says harnessing business opportunities requires a combination of economic knowledge, market awareness, and entrepreneurial skills.
In a challenging economy, the effect on new graduates in finding decent and sustainable employment opportunities can be profound. The economic situation and the rising number of job seekers have heightened competition for limited job openings and increased financial burdens on young individuals aspiring to fit into the workforce. Considering the urgent need for economic freedom, the Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chum Akwabwa, is employing the youth to seek expert guidance and mentorship in the business community.
Just as Ghana has its own economy with the dynamics, you have to study the economy and appreciate what the dynamics are in order to be able to take advantage of the opportunities. In spite of the challenges, don't sit down and complain. Rather, go through and study, get mentorship from others, learn from those who have been successful, explore opportunities, talk to institutions that are providing various support, and you'll be able to do something.
Seth Chum Akwabwa addressed the theme, how can the university graduates succeed in a challenged economy, at the 15th congregation of the Ghana Baptist University in Kumasi.
It's not every student who is possible to develop, because some do not acquire the skill in a way that enables them to be developed. So all parties have to play their role. Government has to equip the schools, develop the right framework for the schools to develop well. Students have to learn hard and not only pick the academic skills, also should pick the relevant practical skills as well. But it's also important that our universities develop the skills to the extent that further adding on becomes very easy for industry.
The congregation saw the graduation of 401 students from various academic and professional programs including diploma, bachelor's and master's degrees. President of Ghana Baptist University College, Professor Joshua Otin Ejeyi, encouraged the graduates to live by the principles inculcated in them by the school.
Glory be unto our God. You attended a university whose foundation is grounded in our Lord Jesus Christ. You have been equipped in body, soul, mind, and spirit to face the world through your constant biblical teachings. Therefore, you must remember to put on the whole armor of God so that you can withstand the wiles of the world.
Reporting for Joy News, Clinton Yeboah.
The marketplace. Thanks for watching, everyone. There is more news as always on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Credit risk remains elevated, slows down new lending by banks. That's according to the Bank of Ghana. Also, ride-hailing vehicle owners to pay value income tax from the 1st of January next year. myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time tomorrow.